start again. It's a rich thing.
Today's video is on the HG-P402 crawler kit that I built. Here is the final, somewhat final product. I'm still waiting on some accessories to come, but this is it. The shell didn't come with the kit. This is something I added on. So the kit actually comes with everything except for the shell and the motor. And it comes with these shocks here. And all these are gravity shocks, no oil in it. So I upgraded those with some, I upgraded to some oil shocks. So, but anyway, let's get to the truck. This truck here, I mean, the wheels are not bad. They're a pretty good soft compound. So I add the little paint to the lettering on the wheels to make it stand out a little bit. The rims are plastic. They are B-lock, plastic B-lock rims, which I've ordered some metal B-lock rims to add a little weight to the truck because it is very light. I'm gonna take the shell off here. I didn't do a very good paint job. I'm not the best painter, but it came out okay. I'll let y'all look at that in a minute here, but this is what we got here. So, like I said, the kit came with everything except for your servo, your ESC, your motor, battery, and the shell. This kit, like I said, it is very light. It's all plastic. Everything is plastic. So you will, to make this crawler a more effective crawler, I would say you would have to add some weight to it, whether it be metal B-lock rims, and maybe add some brass hex extenders or something like that. Now these shocks I put on here, a lot of people are saying that they're very stiff, which kind of stiff, but not very. That's why I put the thinnest oil I could in here. And they're fine. I mean, only thing about them that this truck is so light because of all the plastic is it doesn't have any counterweight to press on it. So that's why with the metal rims and those brass hexes that I bought, that'll add some weight down low here. So this will make this crawler a little bit, perform a little bit better. We'll try it out here in a little bit. Just gonna give you a little rundown on what all I've done or what all I've installed. So this crawler comes with a 90, this is a 93 tooth spur, and it came with 3 optional pinion gears. It came with a 26, 28, and 30 pinion gear. Well, I went with the 26 tooth pinion gear because I also put in a high turn crawler motor. So I put in the Surpass Hobby 10 turn crawler motor. And I don't know how good it will be, or I don't know how reliable it will be in the long run. But I just wanted something more in a way where it can be more of like a trail truck, not necessarily a crawler, but a rock crawler, but more of a trail truck. It should still have enough power to crawl, which we'll find out once we get out there and try it out. But I do know it should have a little more speed than the other crawlers that I have. which only go 2 miles and 4 miles per hour. So we should get a little more speed out of this one. I do have the brushed hobby wing. I think this is the WP1040 brushed hobby wing ESC, which is rated for 2 and 3S lipos, and I'll be running a 2S lipo on here just to, to be safe with this 10-turn motor. Also, I did a little overkill on the steering servo. I don't know if you can see it here, but I put a 20 kg steering servo here, which is kind of overkill because everything on this truck is plastic, the frame and everything. So when it turns, you can see the whole truck kind of turn with it. So I'm gonna take that out and replace it with maybe a 9 kg or maybe a little bit more than 9. We'll see, but I'm gonna replace it with one that's less than that because right now it's kind of torquing the whole frame, and when you turn. So we're gonna do that. The receiver, I'm running actually I had a Red Cat radio receiver laying around, so I put the Red Cat radio receiver. That's what I'm running on this. So and like I said, these shocks, man, I love these shocks, the way they look. And I got these off of these came off of AliExpress, and it says mountain on the side. These are oil field shocks, and they have springs inside here. So, and like I said, I filled them with the lightest oil that I had around, and I got them just basically because of the way they look. I mean, a little bit different than having the springs on the outside. So basically it looks like real shocks. You know what I mean? It gives you that realistic shock look that you will find on your regular vehicle. So I went with that. I did go with that. So that's pretty much what I got here. I went with the aftermarket shocks to make it look a little bit better and maybe get some better performance out of it. Went with the 10-turn motor just to get a little more speed out of it for trailing. And went with the 20 kg servo, which is a little bit too much, a little bit too strong for this truck. So I'm going to dial it down a little bit. I'm going to take that out and put something else a little bit less, a little less stronger in there. And went with the Hobby Wing 1040 brush ESC here. And I will be running a 2S battery. And probably for giggles, I might just throw a 3S battery in here just to see what speed. I'm going to gauge the speed on it. And just to see. Now, I'm not going to run it for for a long time. I just want to run it just enough to get a recording of how fast it goes on 2 and 3S. What else I can tell you about this? Oh, it is a 2-speed transmission. So right now I got it in high, and I can switch it over to low. What else I added? Also, I added this hook, so I can pull my trailer behind it, and I got it in there real good. So I drilled some holes in this hard plastic bumper. Now, one thing I have noticed about this truck, and I haven't ran it yet, but these bumpers, the front bumper comes out kind of far and low. So I don't know if I get into crawling, it may get in the way of me actually performing a little bit better crawling with this truck, because the main thing about crawling is you want to get your wheel on whatever you're trying to crawl over first. And this bumper may prevent me from doing that. The bumper may get hung up before the wheel can get on it. So we'll see how that goes when I get out there and try it out here. Uh, Again, like I said, this kit costs $63, and like I said, I pretty much had everything that I got in here. I already had everything sitting, so all I needed was to add the aftermarket shocks and add the body to it. That's it. So everything else I already had sitting around, and I just threw it in there. One thing I can say about this kit is the fact that it did have a few missing screws, which kind of had me scratching my head and frustrated me a little bit. But then I thought about it. I said, well, I got some screws, extra screws out there in my little bin. So I just pulled them out and just see what would fit and what I could use. And thankfully, I had screws that were actually able to work with this application, and now we're in business. So it do come with the plastic drive shaft, 2-piece drive shaft. So this drive shaft, and then this drive shaft here going from your plastic axles here, and basically you had to put the whole chassis and bumpers and all that together, but the axles itself, the gears, the axles, they were already together in the kit. So all you had to do is attach the axles to the chassis once you got everything, together. So it wasn't a bad build. It wasn't very extensive, meaning since some of the stuff was already, well, the axle, the gears was already put together. So that was one word you didn't have to, that's one thing you didn't have to fool with. The only headache that you really had with this build was in the manual. The instructions they were pretty good. The instructions wasn't bad at all. The only thing that I had an issue with was the screws, how they labeled the screws. Now, the screws in the book, in the manual, they labeled them fine, described what they were and all that. But the screws that came in the bag, they didn't have any tag or label on them. So now you have to just kind of look at the picture and try to match that screw, which was kind of hard because this is a black and white type diagram that you're going by, and a lot of the screws were the same size or close to the same size, and it's just one of them things you just have to play around and see what screw was what. And then once you find out what screw is what, you kind of either put them in a group together and label that group, because if you didn't, you'll be going through that whole process again every time you get to another section of the build. So but yeah, this build came out fine. Like I said, it's an all plastic build, but it's very lightweight, and I will be adding weight to it. I'm waiting on the metal B-lock rims to come in, and I'm also waiting on the brass hexes to come in. And once that come in, that'll add a little weight to it. It'll add a little weight to the bottom end. So we'll see how that performs. But right now, we're gonna take this out and see how it performs just the way it is. That way we can kind of gauge it and gauge it from where it's at now to when I add the other upgrades to it. And like I said, these shocks are not bad. They are a little stiff, but we're gonna see how they perform out there. Let's get out here and see how this crawler performs.